Welcome, everyone, to another Harris-Elmore and Genoa's Library podcast with me and Sierra and our special guest, Miss Jennifer and Mr. Nathan. Hello, hello.
Hi.
Hi.
We are here in the month of March, or as some people, like we said last year, top of the morning to ya.
Score.
We were hoping you would do this.
I put that on our script specifically so that Ariel would say it.
But we're not gonna repeat ourselves this year and do
our really awful Irish accents.
Yeah.
If you want to hear it, you can go back and listen to last March's podcast recording. We talked all about Ireland and we took an Irish quiz, and we're not very Irish.
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jen would know more about it than we did.
Yeah, an Irish accent's hard.
It is.
Very subtle.
It depends
Sometimes.
what part we're doing too.
Oh, okay. I could see that.
I don't know. If you want to watch something on YouTube and someone that has a good Irish accent, just go watch Jacksepticeye's channel. He's got the greatest one out there. I love listening to him talk.
It's a soothing one.
Yeah. Have you ever watched him? Yeah. I'm gonna say, if you haven't, I'm gonna play some videos for you later. We're gonna talk later.
We get to play a game.
Yeah, sorry. I thought she was gonna say more.
Oh, I was just making sure you guys said your Irish accents, because I'm not allowed to speak in an Irish accent anymore.
I want to try so hard, but every single time, I even think about what to say, it's so bad. It's not going to come out good.
I have one. Top of the morning to ya.
I don't know.
That's a great phrase.
Maybe
give a
phrase and we can all.
Yeah.
How about somebody give a phrase and we can all give our best shot for the phrase and then we'll move on.
Oh God.
Okay.
So, I don't know what to say though. What should we say?
I'd like to have eggs on my toast.
Eggs on your toast. Okay. Just gonna start.
I'd like to have my eggs on the toast.
You sound so British.
I tried so hard, and then halfway through, I'm like, this is bad.
I don't know how to do Irish. I really don't.
There's like a oi.
Yeah.
But I'm doing it way too hard. It needs to be more subtle.
Oi, I'd like some eggs on my toast, but that doesn't sound very good either.
That's Kiwi.
Yeah,
you're from New Zealand.
Sure.
Australian, Irish.
Great place.
Oh my gosh.
That's what happens when Americans do any accent. We just turn into every country.
We just butcher it. Yeah.
I like to have eggs on my toast.
Oh, that was actually pretty good. I don't even want to try, guys.
You have to.
I cannot do Irish.
If Nathan did it and totally ate it, you have to as well.
Toast is grand.
Oh, God.
Toast is grand.
Nice.
I have to think.
I've already had it 3 times today.
How do you say eggs on your toast? No.
No. British.
I didn't like it.
British.
It was very British.
Yeah. I feel like the Irish accent has got like cool stuff with like I's, R's, and O's and stuff.
I always think like, oh, they're making it sound so easy, but like that's just how they talk. Like it's effortless for them because that's just what they sound like.
Yeah.
So it always sounds forced.
Is nuts.
When Americans try to do it. Which is what kills me because I'm like, a lot of people that have accents can do a flawless American accent. And I just think we sound like blah. So like,
sometimes they go to like, they do Southern, they do Valley Girl, or they do like Californian.
Yeah, because those are
yeah.
A lot of people try to do the Boston one too. That's a nice.
Yeah, of course.
That one's kind of Irish similar. Or if you go to like Newfoundland or something, they have very Irish accents. Like we just saw that Come From Away, and they were very Irish sounding.
You just
drop, Irish music.
You drop all of the R's, and suddenly you're from Boston.
Really accurate.
Pack the can
Anywho.
in the
Yeah.
Dad. There we
Yeah.
go. Drop the R's.
That's all I think about. Just park the car in the far part of the yard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywho, we are going to play a little game today. We're here to solve a murder. Or maybe not a murder. Maybe arson. Or maybe a robbery. Perhaps a kidnapping. Or forgery. So today we're going to play Crack the Case. And I'm going to let Sierra explain because I have no idea how to play this game.
Okay. I have to pull up my instructions a little bit. I kind of laid it out a little bit so that I could kind of remember how to play and explain it to everybody. So the rules are pretty simple. So one of us is a moderator. And since I have the game in front of me, I will be the moderator today. And I will read stories on the back of case cards that range from easy, medium to hard. I've picked out 3 easy, 2 medium, 1 hard. They're actually all kind of hard to solve. So we might not get through all the 6 that I have laid out here, but this will be easy. So Jen and Ariel and Nathan have the task of just listening to, I'm going to read them the case and then the mystery. So the mystery is the part that they have to solve, and they have to use their deductive reasoning to solve the case with what little information I have given them. They are allotted
That's very little
clues. There is very little to the, I don't know if I just pick one of these other little cards, I can hold it up to the camera and show you guys. If I, oh my goodness.
This is a slightly older fashioned game. It's from Hasbro from like the 90s.
Yeah, it's
older
from
fashioned
93.
words.
So
It's a
like some
fun
of the references and some of the clues and like storylines and stuff are a little more old fashioned. It's definitely not modern, but if it, oh, my camera's gonna blur everything.
Blur it. It's, oh, right there we can see it.
Okay.
Candy dish and shell game. Oh,
my
almost.
goodness. I apologize. Yeah, so you can see the case. It's literally 3 lines of story. And the mystery says, why was the man shot?
Did he not share the candy? Because that could be the first reason right there.
I did not pick this one. This one has like a lot. Well, it's a sample one, but it has a lot of like stuff that goes with it, special information and different things. I didn't want to do this one. But yeah, you get 3 or 4 lines of story. Some of them are a little longer. You get like a paragraph of story and then the mystery. I know what the stories are behind each one of them. So all of the people guessing can ask yes or no questions, or they can ask certain questions and I can say things like, that's irrelevant. Like if they ask me like, well, was it raining outside? And it has nothing to do with what was happening inside of a building, I can just be like, well, that's irrelevant. It doesn't matter to the story. I can say things like yes and no, if it's kind of a vague answer and it could go either way. Or I can ask them to define what they're saying or to rephrase their question in a way that makes a little more sense to the story. So
I guess let's jump on into it, I suppose.
So let's
get right into it.
Let's right into it. I wish I could turn it on and off and just sound really cool, but I can't. And you have to forgive me.
You do great Australian accents, all of you.
Crikey.
Crikey. Go put some shrimp on the barbie.
Somebody was just talking about Tim Tams today, and that sounds.
That sounds good.
Yum.
So I'm probably gonna take a ton of drinks. I was gonna put gum in my mouth to keep my mouth all like nice and moist while I was talking because my mouth dries out, but I was afraid I would start chewing the gum and it would sound really, really nasty for everybody listening. So I didn't do that.
I'll fix it in post. Probably not.
I don't know how you would fix that nasty gum chewing noise. Ugh.
I'll just add extra gum chewing sounds.
Like it.
All right, so I'll try to read slow and coherently. The first case is called Smash Hit. The case. A car driven by a drunken man collides with a limo on a busy street. Miraculously, the limo driver and his passenger are not critically injured, and the driver of the car walks away unhurt. Nevertheless, the drunken man is later arrested for negligent homicide. The mystery? On what grounds was the drunken driver arrested?
Oh.
So the limo driver hit the car.
No,
the car hit the limo.
there was a car driven by a drunken man that collided with a limo.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Miraculously, the limo driver and his passenger were not critically injured, and the driver of the car, which was the drunken man, walks away unhurt. Nevertheless, the drunken man is later arrested for negligent homicide.
Are there animals involved?
No.
What's
you can go
I'm
ahead.
trying to think of a term where it's like you're unable to control your vehicle. What is that called?
Is that irrelevant?
Because that's kind of what it sounds like if that's what he was charged with, like your inability to control.
Well, he was
the
charged with
car.
homicide, though, so he killed something.
It wasn't just like impaired driving or anything. So, was there any passengers in the car?
His car?
Yes.
No.
Were there other pedestrians involved that were not in a vehicle?
No.
Was there a body in the trunk
No.
of any? Okay.
That's a good one.
That's an interesting question.
No, that would be really good though.
I was like, follow that line of thinking, but in a different form.
So
I was going to say, was somebody pregnant?
No.
Oh, did somebody die later? That was in the limo.
No. Yes and no.
Somebody died later, though.
Yes.
Did these?
As a result, go ahead.
I was going to say, of these people that weren't critically injured, were they taken to the hospital after this event?
No.
Did the limo passengers and driver know the drunk driver?
No. This is
the person that died later from the drunk driver's car.
No.
Were they from the limo?
No.
Did they know the people in the limo?
I would say yes.
Did the person die as a result of the accident?
Yes.
Did they die from
complications? It's not from the car crash itself.
Did somebody buy the vehicle after the accident?
No.
You guys want a clue?
Yeah, I have clues. There's 2 clues.
Oh yeah, hit us with a clue.
Okay, your first clue is this. The limo was speeding to save a life.
Oh my gosh, was somebody bleeding out?
No.
Did they have like a
heart
attack? A body part in the car, like a heart or something?
Yes and no.
A
was the car
organ?
actually like an ambulance?
Jen said
a transplant organ.
It was a transplant organ.
Okay.
Oh, so the organ never made it to the hospital and that person died?
Yes.
Was the organ in the limo?
Yes.
Who transports an organ in a limo?
You have to figure that out.
Very important people.
Like that's part of it too. Like you have to know.
Was there a doctor in the limo?
I mean, I'll give that a yes.
Okay.
Well, first off, these people way back in 1993 did not see the movie God Committee because they would know new helicopter organs.
Right.
So give me a quick rundown
Maybe
of
it was super fresh.
What you guys have all discovered so far. Like give me a nutshell and I want to see how close it is to the solution because I feel like you guys have almost got it.
Okay, so there was a transplant organ in the limo and it was going to the hospital to save a person's life, but they got sideswiped by the drunk driver, and something happened to the organ where, I don't know if it fell out or it's no longer viable, and that never got to the person, so that person in the hospital died as a result.
I will say that's pretty much it. Yes.
Okay.
I will read you the solution. Am I supposed to read you guys the story and the solution? I'm just curious.
The solution, I don't know. Is there like this story relevant, like the backstory?
So there isn't like the full story. So the story is, it was an emergency. The limo's passenger was a medical technician. You said doctor. I feel like that's pretty much the same. Rushing, you didn't say what organ. I don't know if you had to like go down the line and guess.
I said a heart, but what was it?
It was a liver.
A kidney. So a liver.
They were rushing a liver from the airport to the hospital for a life-saving transplant. So they did fly it, but then they got in a limo. But the crash smashed the liver to smithereens, making the transplant impossible. Though the two men in the limo lived, the unlucky patient died in the hospital, waiting in vain for her new liver to arrive. By his negligence, the drunken driver caused the patient's death.
They're awesome.
You guys actually got that easier than I thought you would, because I thought that was kind of hard.
That was definitely not me.
I originally thought that maybe they hit an animal or something.
Hit an animal? Oh.
Homicide animal? I don't know.
So
if you kill an animal, is that really homicide?
I don't think so.
I've been watching, the true crime club that we have here at Genoa, gets the wheels turning. True Crime Tuesday. Last,
so maybe
Tuesday of the month.
Yeah, if you're interested in like just being more observant and learning about these things. I feel like honestly that is kind of what it does. I mean, it makes you think a little bit more.
Was that an easy level?
That was easy, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Still kind of tricky.
So the next one I thought sounded actually pretty interesting when I read it. So this one is called Jackknifed. The case is this. A teenager is taking her regular shortcut to school when she comes upon a gruesome sight in the woods. Lying on the path is the body of her neighbor, Jack Kutnick, with a bloody knife protruding from his chest. The girl runs away in fear, but returns to the site with the police. Jack's body has disappeared, and all that remains are a few drops of his blood. The police never find the body. A month later, however, they serve a search warrant on Archie Gore, a traveling salesman who lives 50 miles away. Hidden in his garage are Jack's bloody clothes, his wedding ring, and a photo of Jack with his arms around Archie's wife. The police arrest Archie, but not for murder. The mystery? What happened to Jack, and why did the police arrest Archie?
Question number one definitely has to be, is Jack even dead?
No.
Yeah, they didn't find a body. Or he was eaten by bears.
Don't you think they would have found more than a few drops of blood if he was eaten by bears?
Well, he just said it. Sarah just said that he's not dead.
He's not dead.
This sounds like Jack's totally not dead. It seems like he's I'm fabricating the story in my mind right now. He's getting
what was the guy's name they arrested?
They arrested Archie Gore.
Archie.
Well, I would say for like lead, because like everything points to him. I'm trying to think of what the term is for that. Lead suspect.
Prime.
Oh, they arrested him for lead suspect?
The prime suspect.
Because he's withholding evidence.
No, that is not. That's not why they arrested him.
Is Archie and Jack the same person?
Yes.
What? Okay.
First off, Archie, I have questions. Why didn't you burn your clothes? One. If you want to disappear, let's do some homework here. Let's unpack that.
Did he try to fake his death?
Yes.
Clearly.
I was going to say, that's what it sounds like to me.
Ooh, but why?
Maybe he wasn't so happy with his marriage.
Yeah, is Jack on good terms, or is Archie on good terms with his wife?
Let me read this.
Probably.
I don't know.
There was a...
Maybe he doesn't love her anymore.
Why would he go 50 miles away to pretend to be murdered?
Yeah, I don't really know how to answer that question. I'm sorry. The last one you gave me.
I don't think that's one of the options.
Did
it is too. It says I don't know.
Oh, okay. I mean,
did I'm gonna say Jack because it's easier for me to remember than Archie. Did Jack work in the place where he was found?
So did he work in the woods?
Well, in that town.
You mean
know
like
what I mean?
when he was found?
Because it's 50 miles. Because
away.
it's 50 miles away from where he was living.
True.
I would. Yeah, I imagine he lived over there.
Well, did his wife live there?
Yes.
Okay, but his wife did not live in the other house where he was living.
She also lived there.
Did
they lived in both places?
I'm sorry?
They lived in both places?
Yes.
Did
that
Archie...
it's a very confusing question, but I still have to say yes to it.
Did Archie profit off of his fake death?
Yes. But
so
not
some kind of insurance thing?
That's what I was gonna suggest.
There was an insurance thing, but he was not the one to profit money-wise.
Yeah, his wife would have gotten the money because of his death.
Yes.
So was his wife in on it from the beginning?
No.
Oh, that's all sorts of messed up. What?
Maybe they needed money, and so he didn't want her to suffer, and so he just pieced out instead.
Yeah, is Jack bankrupt? Even though he has 2 houses.
No.
And a diamond ring.
But I'm just trying to think, what difference does it make if he lived someplace else? I mean, because he's in 2 places. Why would he want the people in that town to think he was dead? But it didn't matter in the place where he was actually living.
There's a reason for it. It's
yes, obviously, but
okay, I can give you guys the first clue.
Please.
The second one won't help you guys at all because you've already discovered that he's not dead. But the first clue is Archie was trying to simplify his life.
Was he trying to start a fresh start?
Ooh, yeah, I think he has 2 families. That sounds about right.
Yeah, rephrase your question.
Does he have a family in both locations?
Yes and no. Can you rephrase
Does he have a
that?
wife in both locations?
Is Archie the father of 2 different families?
Maybe not kids, but he has 2 wives.
He has, yes.
Okay, so he wants the wife in area number 1 to think he's dead, so he can be with the other wife.
Yes.
That's really messed up, man. Just get a divorce, bro.
For...
Unless he didn't want to pay annulment, maybe.
Well, isn't that
illegal?
Then
the other wife would leave
or alimony. What was that?
So, I just need you guys to say one more thing. Why did he do it?
Well, he wanted to uphold one of his marriages at least, because the problem is if the wives figured out about each other, then obviously no one would hang out with Archie because he's a slime ball. And what's wrong with him?
That's fair.
Communication.
Is the wife that he's trying to get away, that he's trying to thinking that he's dead, was she the first wife or the second wife? Is she the first wife?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the new wife he wants to stay with.
For you guys kind of already, you said it earlier.
About the insurance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but who gets it? Does the first wife get the insurance money?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so you guys have pretty much figured that one out as well. I can read you the story now.
Okay.
So the police didn't arrest Archie for murder because Archie and Jack were the same person. Archie was leading a double life with 2 wives who were completely unaware of each other's existence. Archie was a traveling salesman, giving the bigamist husband the perfect excuse for his periodic absences. Archie decided to simplify his life and do away with his alter ego. He staged the fake murder so that Jack's wife could collect on his life insurance policy. Archie knew that his young neighbor was the only one who walked through the woods at that time of day, and correctly assumed that she would run to get help. When Jack's photo appeared on the news, a neighbor of Archie's noticed the resemblance and called the police. They didn't arrest Archie for murder, but they did arrest him for insurance fraud and bigamy.
I have questions.
Yes.
So
what a narc. That neighbor's a narc.
Wouldn't you have questions? Be like, dude, he's not dead. He's living right next to me.
Yeah, and I guess how do you, if you're married to one wife, you can't just get married to the second wife without, it's because certain places you can't, polygamy is not like a thing. Like, how do you not, how do you get married with official documents?
He lived 50 miles away. I don't know how he had official documents for two different people because he was Jack, but he was also Archie.
You can get those. You can get those easily. People do it all the time. Don't you watch those shows? Like I was watching something one time where this exact thing happened. Just about.
I don't know where to get those. I'm a stand-up citizen, okay?
Dude should have changed his appearance.
Yeah, right? I'm dyeing my hair now.
50 miles isn't that far. Like, why wouldn't you change your appearance? You just assume like, it's all over. It's all fine and dandy. Like, no, dude, it's not. That's not cool. Also, like, his poor wife that like assumes he's dead. Like, she finds out later, like, oh, he's not dead. Oh yeah, he's also married to this other person.
I mean, I'd be upset with that, but as long as I got to keep the insurance money, I'd probably be okay.
Well, she's not going to now because it's insurance fraud because he's not dead.
Yeah,
so she gets nothing, and now she's just angry, and she has no husbands. Neither one. They neither one have a husband.
She'll sue him, that's for sure. So she'll get something out of it. Take his money.
He's a traveling salesman. He doesn't have no money.
The way the solution sounds too. The solution is what you guys had to discover. It says investigators, or you guys, must discover that Archie and Jack were the same person and that he faked his death so that Jack's wife could collect on his life insurance policy. So even though he's like, I wanted to simplify my life and, you know, just live in one place with one wife, he still wanted to look out for the other wife and faked his own death so she could get the money. And so he could like leave with like semi-clear conscience, I guess, and be like, well, she's set for life. I don't have to worry about her anymore. I didn't leave her like all sad and destitute. I don't know.
Trust me, I'm a good man. I didn't
right?
kill
That's what
it
feels like. He was still trying to do a good thing, but
I killed myself for her. Baby, it was for you.
Yes,
I like your impression.
Christopher Walken. Basically.
That's the best.
I can't do Irish, but I'll try to do Christopher Walken.
You can do that one really well, actually.
You win at that.
Can you tell me what you need if you have a fever?
What?
No.
What'd you say?
Is this a reference I'm supposed to remember?
Yeah. Oh, you guys.
What'd you say?
I just didn't hear what you said.
A fever. I have a fever.
For more cowbell.
Yeah, cowbell. I
was making a cowbell reference. Y'all totally killed it.
All I heard you go say was
Is my mic not close enough for everybody to hear me?
No, I'm just legit deaf. I mean, ask anyone.
I didn't know we were doing an ASMR video today.
I like to whisper too.
I'll read the next one really close to the mic. It's called Close Call.
Let's try another case and see how well we do.
Doing pretty good.
Really close because it's called Close Call.
Close call.
Isn't there somebody that like talks like that, like in a whisper?
Yes, it's their ASMR videos, and so you whisper because it offers some sort of tickling sensation in the brain that relaxes people. So people
puts me on edge.
You're just making me anxious.
Yeah.
It actually doesn't relax me. I hate ASMR. It makes me like ultra uncomfortable. It doesn't even matter what kind they're doing. If they're whispering, if they're making little noises or whatever, like it makes me ultra uncomfortable.
Like some people will do this on a phone.
Is that supposed to be calming?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Some people really like it.
Or
they like do a mukbang while doing ASMR, like really quiet, and they'll eat like
I've seen where they like
some interesting
pet
stuff
their
on the
mic
internet.
and they like make little noises on their mic or something.
Yeah. Once I figured out what ASMR was, I had to go and do a Google deep dive because I was curious.
You know what you need to do? You need to like beatbox on your microphone.
No.
That's so funny. We talked about trying beatboxing, remember? A year ago. We're like, we're going to try
I will support
beatboxing.
you.
I will support
you.
No, if we're doing beatboxing on the podcast, we're both doing beatboxing. I'm not doing it alone. I will sound like I'm dying.
How about you beatbox and Ariel can rap?
Can you rap?
No.
Can you freestyle?
No.
No.
We need a library rap. Come on.
Oh, I wish I could beatbox. I can't make those noises with my mouth. It's impossible.
I'm gonna leave that to the professionals. Mary J. Blige, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Eminem,
The Super
50
Bowl
Cent.
lineup.
Yeah, I was so excited for that show. Woo! Outcome not so great, but that halftime show, 10 out of 10. Love the set too. I just wish it was longer. They literally played like one song each, and I'm like, I want more. Give it to me now.
I feel like Nathan could beatbox.
I can always try, but it would.
I think you could. I think it's a hidden talent you have not discovered yet.
Is it weird that I think it's like a guy thing? Like most guys can beatbox.
Yeah.
Like it's just innately in them. They can do it.
That's how I feel. I feel like that's your hidden talent.
I know some dudes that cannot.
So your husband.
By some dude, do you mean your husband?
Yes.
That was my first thing was like, oh, so you're saying he can't do it?
And his friends. I'm calling them out right now. Sorry, guys.
Oh, so you're saying they've tried and it sounds bad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
okay.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm like, ooh. They're like, yeah,
I'd like to know how that came about.
Was there like a friend's day? All his friends were over. They were all trying it.
Mm-hmm. It was like, okay, good for you, but that's enough.
All right.
I love they have it in them to try, though. I want to try, but I also know it's just the outcome is just going to be me making weird spitting noises. It's not going to be pleasant. Okay, that was fun. Do you guys want your third case? You guys are just knocking it out of the park today.
Yay!
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
I'm not going to read this close up, even though it says close call. We've agreed. It makes everyone uncomfortable. The case is this. Sally answers the telephone in her living room. The conversation goes like this. Sally. Hello? Caller. Hi, Sally. Are you coming into work today? Sally. No, I'm afraid not. I've got the flu or something. Caller. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you think you'll be in tomorrow? Sally. I can't tell yet. Can you make my excuses to the boss? Caller. Sure. Anything else I can do for you? Sally. No thanks. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. The caller immediately notified the police, who surrounded Sally's house, broke in, and arrested the man who was holding her hostage. The mystery? How was Sally's caller tipped off to her plate?
Why is make excuses for her mentioned when, like, if you're to say, oh, I have the flu or something, that seems kind of weird.
I think that was just something people used to say, like when they couldn't go somewhere to someone's house or they were going to miss out on a party or going to work. They're like, can you make my excuses for me? It's not really an excuse. They're like, oh, I'm sick, but can you make my excuses to that person as to why I couldn't
just
come?
let people know why that's happening. Yeah,
I think I'm ready to spitball in this case.
Go ahead.
I think I'm picking up what you're throwing down.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because I think this happens a lot in real life where when
you're
being kidnapped and you're like doing a ransom call, or you're able to get a phone and you have like one call to make. You're like, oh, I'm calling so-and-so. She's calling the police in this case, Sally is.
Mm-hmm.
And she's pretending like it's her workplace and having the conversation. She's like, oh, I'm sick. So there's something wrong with her in her situation. She's like, oh, tell the boss that I won't be able to make it. And the boss is like, get the higher ups at the police department sort of thing.
Hold on a second. Isn't Sally the one that, didn't the other person call Sally?
Yes.
And ask why she wasn't at work? So why would they call her and not knowing that there's like some kind of situation unless they observed it or something first?
I'm thinking it's out of character for Sally to miss work. That could potentially have tipped her off.
I think they observed something happening. and that's why she called. Because also, who calls if they're not the boss? Why would you call somebody else from work and be like, "Why aren't you coming to work?"
Some people are tight. Some coworkers are,
Like, I don't care.
I don't know, maybe their boss isn't very nice. I mean, there are situations.
I guess so. Question number one: is Sally punctual? She always shows up to work.
I think that's irrelevant, actually.
Wow.
And
It
also,
is
I
over.
liked
She doesn't work.
Nathan's-
She's unemployed.
No, she's employed. I just don't know if her like what's it called? I can't think of the word. Her being to work on time all the time, if that
Her
is a
punctuality. Yeah.
punctuality. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. I will say again, I think I'm only supposed to answer yes or no questions and
Yes,
like
no's,
say
yeah.
things, but like I
I
wanted
just
to
wanted to
just
spitball for fun.
Mhm.
okay. I was gonna say I liked your line of thinking. It just needs to be slightly different.
Okay.
Mhm.
So they
It's-
called
that's like
Sally.
there's some kind of
yes.
code. There's some kind of code word in there that that the other person knows means trouble.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Did Sally set up before, whether it's like her work or something, did they set up code words for different situations? Do they have an orange binder?
Yes and no.
Ours is
Yes
blue.
and no.
Is it orange now?
Does Sally work at a bank?
Yes. I believe that's an ink name.
A bank name.
I'm thinking if
Oh.
they had something or access to something that someone would hold her ransom for, money would be
Makes sense.
an immediate thought. I don't know, maybe it's her crazy ex-husband and she divorced him and he didn't like that. And
I mean, I guess her job, like where she worked, does play a role in what's happening, but not for the reason you said.
okay.
Does the person that called her actually work at her job?
Yes.
Okay.
Um, You guys want a clue?
Yeah, sorry, I'm letting you stew in
I'll
your
take
like
Yeah, I suppose
thoughts.
stewing's not great for content.
Sorry.
But yeah, I think probably a hint.
Okay, so
Probably
your
too
first clue
smart.
is this. Sally was in the communications business. This is hard. You guys have to think.
Oh,
Again,
is she?
This is an older game, so it was
Okay.
older forms of communication.
Oh my gosh, she's a telephone operator.
Ooh, is Sally a telephone operator?
It does not say that. It doesn't specify what she worked at, just where she worked.
I wonder if this is like she was supposed to communicate a certain piece of information. It was like really uber important. And so she like did what she was supposed to, but the person was like, don't like that. And that's why they kidnapped her.
Well, maybe I can help you guys because I'm unsure. Maybe you can clarify something for me because I don't want to like disclude that she could be a telephone operator.
Okay.
Because all it says here for me to know is that she worked for Western Union. Is that or is that not? I don't know what Western Union is.
Well, back in the day they used to send like telegraphs and stuff, and then back in the 90s they would do like it would kind of be like faxing, but it'd be like a
You mean the financial services
quick
Western Union?
That's what I thought. Like Western Union nowadays is a bank.
Yeah, that's where you can get like what do you call them?
Yeah, transfers.
Certified checks or something.
So sorry for spoiling a little bit of something, but she works at Western Union. I just wanted to clarify that because I was unsure what it was. I didn't just want you guys to think like, oh, she works at a bank, because I feel like where she worked actually does play a big role.
It sounds like she has the ability to transfer money or give him some form, whether it's that or checks, and kidnapped her to get it.
Interesting.
Is the person that is holding her for ransom related to her in some way? Or do they come to the bank?
No,
No, just a
No.
rando.
kinda.
No way. They probably
Is-
had to plan ahead of time. It wasn't
Is-
random, I don't think.
Is that person related to the person that called her? Like, in some way?
No.
No.
Was there a threat tipped off at the bank to give them a, hey, could be robbed here pretty soon?
No.
I don't know.
That's a good line of thinking, in my opinion.
Okay, I'm gonna give you guys the
What was their
second
phone
clue.
conversation again? Because
Their
that's what
phone
I can't remember
conversation?
what the exact words were.
Okay,
I guess
so
do the exact words matter in their phone conversation for figuring out how she
No.
tipped them off?
Good
No.
question.
Okay, well, never mind.
like I could read it again, but your questions was spot on. You don't need to hear it again.
Yeah, I guess I don't.
I'm gonna give you the second clue because I think that will help you guys a lot. As Sally talked into the phone, she quote unquote spoke another language.
My goodness, is she using Morse code?
Yes.
How are you supposed to figure out she's...
Oh.
Hi, I can't come into work.
Did she click her tongue, or she had like tapping the phone portion? Because it's an old phone, so they had the ones that were like this.
Mm,
You
I set
I
off my
mean,
dog
kind of.
using
Yeah.
Morse code. I told my dog in Morse code to get up.
So it was Morse code, yes.
Yes.
And she
Okay.
said, "Save our ship."
I feel like I may just give it to you guys. You all got really, really close after you figured out it was Morse code. I loved all of Ariel's questions about the person holding her hostage and why he was doing it. There is no backstory for why he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah, that's weird because usually they get those.
It could have been money related because I'll tell you the story. Sally was being held hostage by an escapee from a nearby maximum security prison. So maybe it's for money. We don't know.
So I don't pick up hitchhikers when you drive by prisons.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, they have signs and everything.
Don't pick up hitchhikers, period. You don't know don't do that. When her telephone rang, the man ordered her to answer it, but not to arouse any suspicion.
Of course.
Sally worked for Western Union, where employees are still required to know Morse code. Relieved that the caller was a colleague, Sally turned away from the intruder and rested her thumb on the pound key of her touch-tone phone. As she spoke, she secretly tapped on the pound key in Morse code, spelling out SOS, send police. With the phone close to her ear, Sally muffled the sound so that the intruder could not hear her message.
I was going to say, because that's really loud.
Right, yeah,
It beeps
touch-tone
when it
phones are
beeps.
loud. Luckily for Sally, her caller kept cool, and the police were quickly able to reach out and touch the bad guy. And it was quote unquote reach out and touch the bad guy. They were being funny because she reached out and touched her touch-tone phone.
Wow. Okay, Sally, that was quite clever.
So that one took you guys a little bit longer. There was more story to that one, but in the end, you
What
still got
level
it.
was that?
That was still easy.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
The next card is not an easy one. See, it's green. It's got a green border. This is a medium
Just say Rip
card.
Van Winkle.
Yes.
Slept through his life.
Yeah.
Oh, you
So
want to hear the notes that I had for the last one?
yes.
I wrote down
Yeah.
4 words. I said, Sally, call no work. Those are my
Called
notes.
no work.
Sally, call no work.
Mm-hmm.
Master sleuth.
A for effort.
I think that's
Oh.
what real detectives write in their little books.
Mm-hmm. It's gotta be. It's
Sure.
random stuff like that they have to sort out later.
They're like, what does this mean?
Mm-hmm. I do that. I take webinars and I write down random phrases, and I'm like, I'll remember that later when I make my notes, and I read it later. I'm like, was I high? What was I writing down?
I do that all the
what?
time too. I'm like, what kind of shorthand is this?
Right?
That's why I
No
should
clue.
do it immediately after, so I don't forget, because I will forget.
Yeah. Yeah. I do take really terrible notes when I'm doing things. All right, moving on. You guys are doing great. We're probably going to get through all 6 cards today, and I wasn't sure we would, but you guys are doing great. Yes, this one is called Rip Van Winkle, R.I.P.
Wrinkle.
The case.
R.I.P.
This is what it says. I'm just reading.
Huh. kind of pun is this?
The case is this. A man wakes up in a private clinic. The doctors inform him that he has been in a coma for 3 years. As he rehabilitates, the man is amazed by what he's missed. New music, new styles, and political changes like the collapse of communism. On the 4th day of his recovery, he is found dead on the garden path below his window. The mystery? How did he die? And what is the story behind his coma?
Well, sounds like a lot of Cold War shenanigans. Communist is what I'm kind of.
Does it matter what year he started his coma?
I suppose so.
I'm thinking 80s, early 90s.
Yes, I mean, it's the first one.
80s.
Was our client, whoever, I don't know, the guy that was with the coma, was it a typical coma?
No.
Was he frozen? Are we dealing with a Captain America here?
It is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
No, actually, no.
Okay.
Was he under some like hallucinogen drugs that made him like jump out the window or something?
You know what? I just realized I'm making you guys do hard ones and not medium ones. That's okay. This is a hard one and not a medium one. We'll go to a medium one
Okay.
after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
Sorry. Let me reread something real quick. That way I can give you guys better answers.
We're gonna rip up these wrinkles.
Uh-huh.
Will you also read the tail end of that story about like what happened like right before he died? I can't remember for the life of me.
It's not outside his window.
Oh, on the 4th day of his
What outside
recovery.
his window?
What?
4th day.
On the 4th day of his recovery, he is found dead on the garden path below his window.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and so and then one of the things they told him was that he missed things like the fall of communism, which probably is important. Was he a communist?
No. Wait.
Is this set in United States? Is that relevant?
Oh yeah, is the setting important?
Hold
The
on.
case. Sorry, we're asking 2 questions.
Sorry. Yes, the setting is important. No, he is not in the States.
Is he
in
communist?
Russia?
It does not tell me.
Ah, okay.
It doesn't say communist.
A time traveler. Did he commit suicide?
Yes. Sorry, there's so much information. I'm trying to listen to you, but also work all this info into my brain.
Was he given
Right.
some kind of injection or drugs?
Yes.
So he probably didn't mean to jump out his window.
No.
Mm.
Do
No
you
to
think so,
that
Rich?
line of thinking. He was given
This-
drugs at a different
Yeah,
time.
Was he
At
in
a
his right
different time?
mind?
I'm sorry, Nathan.
Oh, was he in his right mind?
When he jumped?
Well,
you-
I just mean in general, I guess, after like in the recovery phase.
Was he being experimented on?
No.
But they gave him drugs to put him in a coma.
Yes and no.
Was he hanging out with Cheech and Chong and he took so many drugs he was in a coma?
So you said it wasn't a natural coma that happened.
Yes, it was
This
not.
guy.
Was
Okay.
he withholding secrets that will
Is he a
That
spy?
would-
Yeah.
make the demise of the communists?
Oh, I like the way you're thinking.
Yes.
Yeah. Did he hold communist secrets?
Yes.
Was he captured by like the U.S.? Held ransom? Well, not held ransom. But
Rephrase your question.
He's not in. Oh wait, we
are
don't know.
they
if he's
pulling a
in-
Mission Impossible where they're putting face masks and lying about their location? and,
Rephrase your question.
you know what I'm saying. Are they faking everything to make this man think that the job where he used to work basically is no longer a thing, and so
Yeah,
his
so he
life had no
can-
meaning?
Yes.
So then he can kind of spout all the secrets, and then they can get him, and then.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so there's a few things missing, but you've said
So is it-
some of the words, so I don't know if you need to know.
Did he commit suicide out of guilt?
Yes.
Oh.
Did he figure out that he was lied to?
Yes.
Are we supposed to
Wow.
figure out how he was lied to?
Or
how
why he was
figured
lied
out
to?
how he was lied? Yeah.
I mean,
can't
kind
word
of,
it.
yeah.
Okay,
So there's a way through the
'Cause-
story to
so
figure that part
we
out.
can work this
I
out.
like that thought, Nathan.
Yeah, because it was like, how did he die and what is the story behind his coma? You guys have really got like a
So I
lot
think we
of
figured out
pieces.
that part. Yeah.
Yeah. Because the second clue you even kind of already figured out was the year was 1980. So I feel like it's not even a clue. You already knew it was 1980.
Yeah. Height of the Cold War. Or
And the first
whatever.
clue, which I guess would have helped you guys a lot if you hadn't got there on your own, was the man in the clinic was a CIA spy in East Germany.
Mm. Go team.
I'm trying to think of you guys. Are you
Oh, so he
missing
was a
something?
U.S. citizen.
Yes.
Oh.
So if they told him that it was the fall of communism thing and it was over, so
Did he give
everything
up the names of other agents that were still working out
Yes.
in the field?
because he was getting debriefed so that he could tell them this stuff.
I mean,
Did they give him truth serum?
no. I don't know how to answer those questions because it's like part of it. Rephrase your question, I guess.
Did he give up the identity of other agents who were still out in the field?
No.
Okay.
Maybe he
Did he
figured
give
it
up
out. And
top
then-
secret info?
Yes.
He did. Okay. Was the info leaked through the story that you read to us?
Through the story I read to you about
Yeah, initially.
his. I can read it to you again and see if you glean anything else from it.
Sure, why not?
A man wakes up in a private clinic. The doctors inform him that he has been in a coma for 3 years. As he rehabilitates, the man is amazed by what he's missed: new music, new styles, and political changes like the collapse of communism. On the 4th day of his recovery, he is found dead on the garden path below his window.
4 days.
Hmm.
I don't think that helps. At least nothing popped out to me.
Me either.
So I guess what part of the question are we missing right now?
I think the
Why he
only
killed
thing you're
Why
missing
he's in a coma?
is, yeah, like,
Probably because they captured him and they didn't want to, I don't
Yeah.
know, be aggressive.
Did they figure out that he was a CIA
He wasn't really in
agent?
a coma though.
It was induced, is what it sounds like.
I don't think he was in a real coma. I think they just gave him something to put him to sleep, and then he just woke up like a couple hours later or something,
Yeah.
and they just made him think that all this stuff was happening.
Mhm.
okay, but
Mhm.
why?
You know,
To extract
It's all a
government
ruse.
secrets.
Yeah, instead of just beating the crap out of him.
did they get any information from him?
Yes.
Hmm. I have nothing else.
I don't know why.
I don't know what
I
we're
mean-
missing. I guess that's what I'm confused
I
about.
don't know. We would need more information. This is one of those things where
That's what I feel like.
I think you would need another piece, but
Yeah,
unless you watched a lot of movies and you just
you've got almost
know
like
this is happening.
you've got almost the entire thing. It's
Yeah,
just
like, what are
hard
we
to piece
missing?
in the little tiny things. So like it was early 1980. The Cold War was still on, and Rip Gardner, a CIA spy, was captured by the East Germans. Unable to get any information from Rip, his captors hatched a plan. They drugged him, moved him to a private estate, and staffed the place with English-speaking attendants. When the drugs wore off and Rip woke up, the doctors told him he was in a CIA clinic in the States and that he had been in a coma for 3 years. They were especially convincing about the fall of communism and the reunified Germany. Since there were no more reason to keep his secret, Rip gradually felt free to discuss sensitive materials with his doctors. On the 4th morning, he noticed that a calendar watch on a nurse's wrist said February 29th,
Okay.
which was Leap Day. That date could exist in 1980, but not in 1983. Rip now knew he was never in a coma and was still in East German custody. He also knew that he had betrayed his country by disclosing secrets. Unable to live with his guilt, he leapt to his death.
I couldn't figure out about the leap year day. Did they have calendar watches back then?
Right? I'm like, calendar watch? How are you guys supposed to get calendar watch?
Yeah.
Well, that explains why they didn't. I wondered. I'm like, surely you beat the crap out of him before you like.
Yeah,
no, I mean, I knew he divulged secrets,
so they
but it's
drugged
like,
him.
how did he know that he was being lied to? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll keep that in mind next time they ask about, oh, how did you know that it actually wasn't the fake year? Was it a leap year? It's always a leap
Even
year.
if it was a leap year, I would not know.
I wouldn't know, yeah.
What
Right?
leap years
Who
are
just
for what
knows
years.
that? All right.
Well, that's why he's in the CIA.
Right? Yeah, smart
True.
dude, but not smart enough to realize he was being tricked. Sorry.
You'll never be comfortable talking about government secrets.
Right? You should never.
real.
Like 3 years,
Even if you
I
think
feel
you're
like
among comrades. Well, if you didn't
No.
remember them, then like,
my thing also was like, so he was knocked out for like so many days or whatever, and the coma wears off.
Probably
and
just
like,
a couple hours.
right? And
Yeah.
they're like, oh, you're fine. You're in the States. It's been 3 years, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I feel like it would feel too real in your mind for like, you would realize like something's off. I don't feel like this is real. They can't be saying this stuff and it's real. Like,
yeah.
He
I'm
was not
surprised they
tracking
didn't
very well.
ask any clarifying questions. Because there was nothing like clarifying, like to prove identities sort of thing. Like it was just like, oh, there's all this new stuff, new music. But like,
I know that's. I
nothing
just
to
feel like
prove that he was
Come up
talking
with this
to-
new music anyways, because obviously it was something of that year. They just like
just
I'm
unwrapped
curious
some
German
weird
too,
stuff.
like if they did like beat him up or torture him to try to get info beforehand, he would still show signs of that, you know? You couldn't say like, oh, it's been 3 years, and he'd be like, well, why does my body hurt? You know, why do I feel all beat up or whatever? Like, I
You're
feel like
old.
you would wake up and still feel like you were in that time. There's no way you could just accept
Drugs are
like,
a
oh, it's been
powerful
3 years.
thing.
It sounded like he was interrogated but not tortured.
Maybe, yeah, maybe they just asked some questions. I don't know. There's just
Yeah.
there's
Like
a
good
lot of
cop, bad cop.
questions I have about that case.
Yeah. Also, what's a calendar watch?
well, I think it was like
It was like one of those calculator watches.
No, I think if it's what I'm thinking, it's like one of those ones where it's like normal face, like a normal clock one, and then like in the corner of it has like a little slit and it has like February 10 on it or something like that.
Oh,
Mine
okay.
has that actually.
Because I think they did have that then, but I mean, I don't know. I didn't see many of them. I don't
My
know, I
watch
wasn't born.
does have that, but it doesn't say what month it is. It just has a little number that switches, and it's inaccurate, and I can't change it because it says today's the 17th, and it's not. It's the 14th. It won't be
And he
to the
could- and he
people that
could've
are
got
listening
himself-
to this, but
Yeah,
he could have
imagine
got
the
himself
watch
all
was
worked up too. Like, what if it was
Yeah.
the wrong day? Because that happens to my watches all the time.
Yeah.
yeah.
Himself for nothing.
Well, I mean, he wasn't wrong, and he was really guilty, but
Rest in peace.
You shouldn't have told anybody that stuff. You're supposed to keep those things secret till you die.
right, yeah. Like I don't know why he
Get
was like he
debriefed.
felt so willing to like tell just his doctors. Like these weren't your military comrades. Like, you're just telling these random doctors that are, Americans. So you're just, there was way too much assuming. I'm gonna assume though, like, the war was so horrible, like he just was so ready to be among nice people that were not trying to kill him, that he was just so relieved he wasn't thinking about anything else. All right, moving on. I have 2 cases left. That one was a much harder one. I looked down at the corner and it said difficult, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm doing the really, really hard ones when I said I was gonna give you guys a medium one. So
I think we should move to word detective, because I think we're gonna end up talking about that a lot.
All right.
Unless we
Do you know
maybe
the word already?
one case, if anything.
I'm sorry, what?
I said if we do any more cases, we should only do one more.
That's what I was going to give you guys the option to pick a difficult one or the medium one, unless you guys want to move to word detective. I didn't realize how late it was. I was just so into this, I didn't realize we were running out of time.
Yeah.
All right. So we can go to word detective. I will, hold on 1 second here.
Because now that we have like multiple people here, I think it's going to be a longer discussion for us to like figure it out together.
3 of us trying to discover it. Nathan,
that's right. I
what it
forgot.
is.
Yeah, Nathan, you can't participate.
Spoiler,
You're going to be grinning the whole time.
I just feel like I'm going to be judged the whole time. You guys can complain to me in real time.
That's what some of you probably listeners already know when we talk about Nathan choosing our words for us. He has set all this up, our word detective. I'm sharing on the screen now.
Today.
Yeah, so the word for March is that word right there.
For our podcast listeners, okay.
Yeah, so for the people listening, I believe it is apricity. That is how
That's what I was gonna say.
What it looks like.
City.
So it's spelled APRICITY. Apricity.
Okay.
I'm assuming even though it says city in the word that it doesn't have anything to do with an actual city.
I immediately think of like a proximity, kind of what reminds me of it, but that might not even be related.
Built this apricity.
I can't participate. I actually do know what it means.
You know what it means?
You do? Oh no!
How?
So
First off, I want to know how.
I read it in a book, like it was part of somebody's like the way they were talking about.
Okay.
Stuff.
That's amazing.
Am I saying it correctly then?
I don't know. I just read it. I never heard it said.
I've heard of it as apricity.
It sounds right. Apricity.
Yeah.
Apricity. All right. So I'm going to scroll down and get our first clue. Let's soak up some history. Apricity is a noun used for the first time, or at least recorded, in the year 1623, which also happens to be the same year Plymouth Colony celebrated their second Thanksgiving. And Wilhelm Schickard?
Yeah, I had to look up how to say his name.
Schickard.
Okay. Invents his counting clock, an early form of the mechanical calculator. And at the beginning, when I said, let's soak up some history, soak is in quotations.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that almost like a sundial?
Whoa, what? Oh, apricity?
That's what I think of. Like,
it's
a
like
sundial,
a sundial
uses the sun to make the shadow to tell the time.
You are kind of in the right direction there, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
But the calculator part, I'm not quite sure what we're calculating.
Well, it's just in the same year that happened.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, okay. I was unsure when it said soak. Like, my immediate thought was like water.
Yeah.
Like soak up the sun is what I was thinking.
Right. That's good because I did not think that. So, it's funny how you're like, we're going to have extra help this month.
Yep. Classic.
I'm sorry.
Little known fact, I'm the one that made it and Jen already knows it.
Let's get a second clue.
But just remember what Ariel said about the sundial thing. So that's very important to the answer, like what it is.
Yeah, where'd you get the sundial part? I missed Oh, what you said.
Oh,
So-
with soak being in the quotes.
Oh, okay.
So clue number 2 says, one could argue apricity is present in this photo, but how?
Definitely.
It's a picture of
Is it another word for sun rays?
a sunny day.
Yeah.
There's snow on the ground, but the sun is clear and the sky is clear and the sun is out. It isn't.
Yep,
It's
looks like
did
it.
it's. I'm sorry. Let me go back up for a second. So it is a noun.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Is
how
it
to
the
help me,
ability
but
for the sun to leave shadows?
whoa.
Yeah, there
Oh.
is shadows in the trees as well. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize how literal I had to be when I described that picture.
I think the
No,
winter
you don't have to be that
winter
There's
literal.
snow on the
the winter
ground.
scene is important.
There's
You know
snow
what, I
on the
think
ground, and
everyone's-
there's walking paths. Looks like someone walked
There's
through the snow.
shadows.
There's shadows of the trees. The sky is clear except for some clouds off to the right-hand side, a little bit to the left. The sun
I
is
think,
brightly shining in the left-hand corner of the picture.
Crack the Case has unlocked everybody's like brain capacity and.
I know you're so
thinking
analytical right now. You're like,
abilities.
I see everything. I'm so observant.
See
I'm gonna
all things.
I see all of it.
If I wanted to go deeper, I would say the sky is not even completely clear. Do you see the little hazy clouds that are actually covering the entire sky?
Mhm.
You can still see through them, but they're there.
Yeah, the sun looks really shiny in that picture.
Ariel, say some more words. I'm going crazy.
I just keep thinking about the sun and the shadow from the trees that the sun is making. And
You
Jen's
should-
comment of, oh yeah, stay on that, you're on the right path with the
You should-
sundial.
You should be thinking about the sun, but not so much about their shadows.
It's not the rays of the sun that we can see that, like the lines around the sun.
It's not what you can see.
Is
Oh,
it
so it's like
bright
the
mass of
feel?
fire?
No, is it like that you can feel the sun? That like it's warm?
Mm.
Yes.
Might be time
But
to go to
when?
clue 3.
But
So
when?
yeah.
At
So if I
high
go to
noon.
the third clue should give us a sentence. Contrary to the temperature, apricity
Mm.
kept the jogger from turning into a human popsicle as he went for a stroll.
I like your thoughts, Hero.
Apricity kept the jogger from turning into a human popsicle.
So it's almost like keeping your body temperature level so you're not like going down but up.
Keep your sun. Keep your sun in there.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
You were on the right track. It's just. So what did you say? You said the sun's warmth.
It's like the sun's warmth. Yeah.
When though?
At high noon.
What time of year?
High noon.
Oh, like in the winter. Yeah, so like the sun in the winter. Wait, so like apricity is a word for sun in the winter sky?
Well,
No.
I guess you can look down and see the definition now. I think
Yeah,
No.
we gotta look at this.
you guys basically hit the nail on the head. Not the hammer. I don't know. That's a
The
weird
warmth
saying.
of the sun in winter.
Oh, the warmth of the sun
Come
in
on
winter.
now. Who has time
Yeah.
to make a word
You
for this?
bastards,
Just say the warmth
that
of
was
the
my
sun in
immediate thought
winter.
when you're like, yay. And I'm like, wait, they have a word for that?
Latin
I know. Isn't that cool
apricius.
though?
The warmth,
Apricius, having lots of sunshine or warmed by the sun. Apricius.
the
Apricius,
warmth
or-
of the sun in winter.
Yeah.
I don't know. Latin.
People in the 1600s had way too much time to make up words.
Right?
Listen, what else
True.
were they doing
They're
besides
good
hard
words,
toiling
though.
work?
Not doing enough.
Someone else
It's
read
not
for a
like they
while.
can binge watch on the Netflix.
They should have got on that and invented it sooner.
You want someone else to read it?
Yeah, I've done most of the talking in this podcast. Someone read
I'll
me
read
the
it.
according to Merriam-Webster.
Okay.
This word provides us with evidence that even if you come up with a really great word and tell all of your friends that you should start using it, there is a very small chance that it will catch on. Apricity appears to have entered our language in 1623, when Henry Cochrane recorded or possibly invented it for his dictionary, the English Dictionary, or an interpreter of hard English words. Despite the fact that it is a delightful word for a delightful thing, it never quite caught on and will not be found in any modern dictionary aside from the Oxford English Dictionary.
Oh,
Now, I did read it in Nathaniel Hawthorne book.
Oh,
That
okay.
makes sense.
Okay.
I was wondering how you knew it because I'm like, it's not in any dictionaries.
No, because he wrote about it. He had it. I don't remember which one it was, but he tends to write flowing prose about nature, like
Yes.
Yeah.
like
he
he'll have
does.
like a central story, but he like goes off on a tangent from his story all the time. He's like, oh, and the trees and the lovely buzz of this and blah, blah, and it's just like, get to the point, dude. But I mean,
I would rather read that than Vanity Fair any day. The author randomly put his random thoughts in the book, and like it totally ruined the plot line, which wasn't very good to
I
begin
love a
with.
stream of consciousness in anything,
Oh, that's
and by
funny.
that I mean I don't. But
So we would just put like random side comments.
Yeah, so like it's just a book of like of non-main characters, and they're all terrible. And then it'll just be like his random thoughts about how they were dressed and what he thought. And I'm like, what the heck?
That's so
800
weird.
pages, mind you.
I
So
feel
it's
like I've heard that
from the
about that
point of
book.
view of a narrator.
What was that?
So is it like from the point of view of like a narrator? Kind of
Oh
like watching
no,
over
that's the
everything.
weird
or-
part. It was like no narrator, and it was just his stuff would appear out of nowhere and then disappear.
Hmm.
We
So
read
it's
it
from
for
the
book
point of-
group. Not a
That's
fan.
weird. Huh.
is your book discussion a Thursday?
Yeah, but for a different book. Yeah, that was our.
You already did that one.
Yeah,
Nice.
that was an interesting word.
Well,
I will say. I don't know if I'll use apricity, but I find very appropriate.
I like it too. It's a good time of year to use that word. I
That was my
wish
goal.
that like I need to have just a dictionary of fun words like that. Like words that no one uses anymore that I can start like integrating into my everyday vernacular.
People will be just like,
I don't care. Like words are so cool and like people don't use the cool ones because they don't know about them. So if we start using them more, then other
It's
people
such
will pick
dog
it up.
water.
that's crap slang. Kids.
I know what the kids are saying.
I just like the sensation enough that I didn't know there was a word for it. Like
Yeah, neither
feeling
did
warm
I.
in the winter just from like the sun, even though it's cold out.
Right. Yeah. No,
Thought
I
that
would
was
have
kinda
never
cool.
known that there was actually a word for that. I was surprised.
Yeah. There's a lot of weird winter words. There's like Heimel. It's like of winter relations, basically.
Oh,
I've
The
never
more
heard
you
of that
know.
before. Yeah.
Wow, well, good pick, Nathan.
Well, thank you.
yeah, I agree. I feel like I shouldn't say us, but like Ariel kind of caught on rather quickly
Oh yeah.
what it was. So that was
Ahsoka
really
too was
cool.
really
Sometimes.
good.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I like to soak up the sun.
Same. So, well, we don't have time for another case. But you guys got through 4 out of the 6 cards I had picked, and you all did really well with them, even though they were hard.
I was kind of surprised. I thought for sure it was going to be a crapshoot.
Yeah,
I think the
honestly, I thought it would go a
collaboration
lot
really
worse.
helped.
Yes, I think definitely
Mhm.
having 3 of you working on it together was like a huge help. And I think I said a few things here and there that kind of helped because they're really hard without it. But if you're interested in ever playing Crack the Case or you really enjoyed listening to us play it, we have it here at the Elmore Library. You can check it out and take it home and play it with your friends, along with tons of other games in our game collection. And that's kind of why we wanted to play a game today, is to remind you guys we have a game collection you can take home and play with your friends and family.
See if you can crack the case.
You can do
I
any
like
better
it.
than we could.
That's a great mid-Atlantic accent. Or transatlantic, whatever the 1940s.
Say it
Is.
in the Christopher Walken accent.
You will crack.
Crack the case. I don't know if I can crack the case. I'm gonna try. Got worse.
That's good.
Well, it's been fun. We should have more people on the show more often.
Yeah. More games.
Absolutely.
More games. We'll definitely play more games. We've got a
More
lot of fun
games.
stuff planned.
More people. More
Mhm.
fun.
On
Sorry,
that
I
note,
liked it, but like I have nothing to add to it. I'm sorry.
At your
I was
life.
going to say, I was reading the
More
room.
cowbell.
On that
Engaged with what
note,
you're saying.
Yeah. Next time on the podcast.
dun, dun.
What is happening next time?
Dun, dun, dun,
You want me to go
dun.
look? Hold on.
No, I was just curious.
I don't know if we have something planned for next month yet,
I
but
mean,
I
we
can
always
look.
have something planned, but it's never like 100% depending on what's going on.
Do. Oh, we're doing book or movie. Which ones are better and why?
Ooh, that's a fun thing.
Oh yes, I'm excited because I'm super, super opinionated about movies based on books.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good chat.
Yes.
I think some April, you need to do like the best pranks ever pulled.
God, you know, we
Ooh.
wanted to, but I think
No.
we wanted to pull pranks on other people.
Well, you didn't have to pull the pranks, just like the best ones that people have done
I
ever.
wanted to
Yeah.
prank you, Jen.
You prank me all the time. All you guys. What are you talking about?
I just wanted to do it more so. I just always go back in my mind and I think about I think it was initially when COVID hit and we closed the library, but some of us were still coming into work, or we'd come in and like grab stuff to take home and work at home. And I was coming in here to work on the painted mural by the front door. And most of you probably know that we have a mannequin set up in the history exhibit that's always dressed up. Its name is Swish. But I have like this weird fear of mannequins moving. If you've ever watched Doctor Who, you understand why. But I wanted to move it around because I was the only one in here, and I thought the only other person I knew that was coming in regularly was probably Jen. So I wanted to move Swish to her office. And I never really built up the courage to do it because that involved me touching and moving the mannequin.
You probably would have broke it because
the legs come off.
The limbs
Swishes.
always come off.
I know,
It's
so I'm like,
very delicate.
it would have been awful. It would have just been like a pile of a mannequin in your office. I would have just left it.
I've just been like, oh my God, it died.
I was so glad I didn't, because then I found out that Kim was coming in.
Oh.
And I'm like, if I moved it and she had seen it in your office, I probably would have given her a heart attack or something. So I'm really glad that I didn't move Swish.
I see. We're worried about her heart
you
attacks,
would
but
have
not mine.
also, you would have hated me for it too. And like, it would have been funny probably for a second, many months after it
It's
happened.
okay.
But I wanted to do it so bad.
I almost moved that plastic ball.
Yes.
Because you guys moved it from where the dog's supposed to get it or whatever, the ghost dog's supposed to get it.
Yes.
And you put it in with the kerplunk stuff. And I was gonna move it and put it in one of you guys' offices, but I was gonna have Bear chew on it first.
I would have cried. You know I would have cried. So if some of you are confused by that, we did a whole episode last October about the ghosts that live in the library.
Last October.
Yeah, it was last October. Or last October?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. It was 2 years ago.
Because I think last October was the case of the girl's name that I can't remember.
Oh,
Lily Bowers. Yes,
Lily Bowers. Okay. Yeah. So last October, so 2 years ago, we talked all about the ghosts that live in the library, and we had ghost hunters come in and investigate for us. And one of the ghosts owned a dog, and one of the ladies that was in the ghost hunting group brought a little toy ball for the dog to play with that we left in the furnace room. Thing is, like, I'm so unsure about the furnace ghost, because I won't say she's vindictive, but she's definitely more active, and that freaks me out. So, like, I don't know how I feel about her puppy.
She must feel comfortable around you if she's active.
Well,
I don't like that.
The ball that was in there, it was red. And remember when we saw that yellow one out in front of the window?
Yeah, we're like, oh my gosh, the dog's got a ball outside.
Look out.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
So there's a bunch of podcasts that you can watch if you're not satisfied by this one today.
Yeah, or if you missed them, go back and listen to the ones you missed.
So many great
we'll have
stories.
a new one next month. So until then, thanks for watching and enjoying another Harris-Elmore and Genoa Libraries podcast. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.